Hello and welcome to a new edition of Africa Today, and in this edition of the program we will focus on Foreign Minister Abdel's current tour in Africa as Abdel met Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Abuja, the second leg of his African tour after Chad. During the meeting with Nigerian President, Abdel said the delegation of 30 businessmen accompanying him is to work on expanding economic and investment cooperation between the two sides. His talks in Chad tackled regional issues of concern, notably in the Sahel and Horn of Africa regions. Details follow.
Minister of Foreign Affairs and Migration Abdel met Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. During the talks, Abdel delivered a message to the Nigerian President. The message stressed deep ties between the two sides and keenness to cement coordination and cooperation across various fields and to support security and stability in Africa. During the meeting with the Nigerian President, Abdel said the delegation of 30 businessmen accompanying him is to work on expanding economic and investment cooperation between the two sides. He expressed appreciation to Nigeria's support for the nomination of Dr. Khalid Al-Anani as Director General of the UNESCO. For his part, the Nigerian President said Egypt is playing a pivotal role in supporting security and development in Africa. He expressed keenness in expanding cooperation and coordination with Egypt in African and international bodies. Earlier on Monday, Abdel stressed that deep Egyptian-Nigerian bilateral relations bind the two countries, given Nigeria's important continental role. He was addressing a press conference with his Nigerian counterpart after arriving in the Nigerian capital Abuja on Monday at the start of a tour that includes 5 West African countries. The tour, which will also take him to Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali and Senegal, comes as part of efforts to boost bilateral relations with fellow African states and to intensify consultations over regional security and the fight against terrorism. The top diplomat is accompanied by leading executives and representatives of leading Egyptian companies in different fields with the aim of strengthening economic cooperation, trade and investment with African countries. Abdel made a stop in Jamina, where he met with his Chadian counterpart on Monday. The top diplomat stressed full support the Egyptian government lends to development projects in Chad, notably in fields of infrastructure, energy, education, health, agriculture and building capabilities. The meeting tackled regional issues of concern, notably in the Sahel and Horn of Africa regions.
And now we are joined over the phone by Mr. Rahman, journalist, and he's going to tell us more about this tour. Good afternoon, sir.
Well, good afternoon to you. Hello to you and to the dear viewers.
Yes, Mr. Amr, how do you see the importance of the visit by the foreign minister to 5 or 6 African nations and the timing of the visit?
Well, that tour comes, its importance from the gravity of the situation and the escalations that going all around the continent and within the continent. And the more challenges each and every moment that we are up against as sons of this continent, as Egypt, the leader of this continent, is trying its best and trying hard to gather the forces of the continent economically, politically, to unite the visions, which is the most important thing here, is to unite visions and to work out to some sort of achievement and of the all lines of policies and diplomacies towards one direction, which is protecting and preserving the national security and the international, the continental security,
yes,
as well as strengthen up the pillars of cooperation, especially in the economical zone, the economical level, which comes in a very important, significant time that economy is the main language to strengthen any ties between two countries in this era of time. I believe also this is not the first tour given by the Minister of Foreign Affairs to Africa, which expresses the importance of those ties, to strengthen those ties and to work out that united vision towards all cases and all challenges that are surrounding our own continent, and individually, of course, as states and republics.
So, Mr. Amr, what common challenges face Cairo and West African capitals?
Well, of course, we have a very important line of threat that we are up against here, which is terrorism, and of course the colonialism influences that is still up high in the horizon. We need to fight those influences whatsoever, whether from the east or from the west. Until today, the African continent, especially to the west side of this continent, has suffered the consequences of hundreds of years of colonialism. And when the foreign armies withdrew, it left the Western regime left their net of influences around most of the countries of the continent, which is a continuously greed and continuous agendas against the best interests of the continent and the nations of the continent, which should be confronted with a united effort, a united situation, one situation that should be applied at all levels and at all countries, with a united diplomacy, and of course with strengthen the economical pillars, so the African continent wouldn't need the influences from abroad, whether economically or even militarily. We have our own organization, African organization, and more than an African organization that can organize the efforts and the levels of cooperation that protect the independence of each and every country in the continent.
So, Foreign Minister Abdel is also accompanied by 30 businessmen. How do you see prospects of cooperation between Egypt and these African countries on economic level?
Well, this is exactly the most important line that I'm talking about here, which is the economical language, the economical way, the economical cooperation that can expand the horizons of our own relations with our brothers in blood, brothers in roots in Africa. And of course, we have the expertise, we have the manpower, we have the capitals to go on and friendly invade our own continent, our own backyard, our own friends in this continent, with cooperation with the nations that are brothers to Egypt. Together we can work out many mega projects that can provide work opportunities and to raise the level of the economies in Africa, of course, and of course within Egypt, with the same cooperation. After the African countries now have their own ways to raise the levels of economies, so we can work out together some sort of understanding how to expand the horizons economically, and of course for expanding the investments, the mutual investments, whether the African in Egypt or the Egyptian investments in Africa, especially that Egypt is the main gate to the continent and the main ladder to the whole world economically. We have all witnessed how Egypt has taken the lead, connecting the continent with the mega events economically in the G7 and the G20. When Egypt went there, it accompanied the sound and the situation of Africa as the main speaker of the continent.
Yes, during the talks in Nigeria, Foreign Minister Abdel expressed appreciation to Abuja's support for the nomination of Dr. Khalid Al-Anani as Director General of UNESCO. How would you comment on Dr. Anani's nomination and the possibility of him winning the post?
Well, this is a very important situation here. This is a very a great appreciation to the Egyptian diplomacy, and of course, I believe that the presence, the Egyptian presence in the international organizations, gives us more way diplomatically, politically, and in the lines of making crucial decisions, especially culturally, domestically, and at all levels. Our own presence didn't start today. It has been since the very beginning of those international organizations. And of course, we all remember Mr. Boutros Ghali, as he was the secretary of the UN. And of course, other Egyptians have taken the great situation and taken long-term of accomplishments that we have achieved in that field.
Also, Foreign Minister Abdel's tour, which will also take him to Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali and Senegal, comes as part of efforts to boost bilateral relations in economic trade and investment fields with African countries. How is cooperation among African states important in light of current challenges?
Well, this is a very important question here, because those countries you have kindly mentioned are connected to our own national security, our own economical security, and our own economical interests.
Yes.
As well as those countries, especially countries like those are surrounding Sudan, is a main concern to Egypt, especially that we are right now confronting that civil war, or that coup, terroristic coup against the leadership, the legitimate leadership in Sudan, by the rapid support that is supported by regional and international enemies to Egypt. And of course, with drawing the lines of supply that comes from abroad to that terroristic organization, we can cut him off and then defeat him with the leading of the Sudanese army, of course, as well as by strengthening economical relations with those countries in Africa. We can show how important the United Sudan is important, not just to Egypt, but to all of the countries, because what's going on in Sudan today can be spread to other countries. So we should work together to put up that fire in Sudan, as well as strengthen our own economical cooperation for the very best interest of our own nations, our own people in those states.
I'd like to thank you, Mr. Rahman Abdel, journalist. Thank you, sir, for being with us. And back to our report from Africa. Egypt's National Railway announced the operation of a designated train to facilitate the return of Sudanese nationals and their families to their homeland. The Egyptian Railways Authority said in a statement that the move comes within cooperation and fraternal relations between Egypt and Sudan. Details follow.
Hundreds of Sudanese displaced by fighting in their country gathered at the central train station in Cairo on Monday to begin a free journey home. The Egyptian government is funding train rides to Khartoum, Sudan's capital, which was recently recaptured by the Sudanese armed forces from its rival, the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF. Sudan has been mired in civil war since April 2023, with the power struggle between the army and the RSF causing an almost nationwide humanitarian crisis. Over 40,000 people have been killed, and the war has caused one of the world's largest displacement emergencies. Egypt hosts the largest number of Sudanese refugees from the war, with over 1.5 million people who fled north across the border. Sudanese people who were driven from their homes celebrated as they entered the train to Aswan at Cairo's Ramses railway station. The RSF took control of Khartoum at the start of the fighting in 2023 and held the capital until the government declared its full recapture on the 20th of May. Khartoum was largely destroyed, including the presidential palace and the airport, but is experiencing a slow rebirth as residents return and markets reopen. Electricity and basic services are not fully operational around the city. The journey from Cairo to Khartoum is about 2,080 kilometers and will include a train ride of about 12 hours to the southern Egyptian city of Aswan, where riders will change to ferries and buses to cross into Sudan.
And Greece has detained first migrants arriving from Libya after the asylum freeze measures. The government has declared a 3-month suspension on asylum requests from any persons arriving by sea from North Africa. Details follow.
Greece has detained nearly 200 migrants who arrived after an asylum freeze imposed on claimants from North Africa. Migration Minister Tanos Plevris said on X the illegal immigrants who entered from Libya in recent hours were arrested by the Coast Guard. He said they do not have the right to apply for asylum. They will not be taken to reception centers, but will be held in police custody until the process of their return is initiated. The Coast Guard said the 190 migrants arrived in 3 groups south of the island of Crete. A 4th group of 11 people was found near the island of Agathonisi, opposite the Turkish coast. State TV ERT reported one of them was injured and later died in hospital. Greece is experiencing a rise in migrant arrivals from Libya, mainly landing in Crete, the home island of Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis. Over 2,000 people have landed just in July, sparking anger among local officials and tourism operators who have put pressure on the conservative government to take action to stop the flows. The Greek Migration Ministry has also prepared legislation enabling migrant detention for up to 2 years for illegal entry and up to 5 years if subsequently caught staying in Greece illegally.
And by that, dear viewers, we come to the end of today's edition of Africa Today. Thank you for watching.